This episode of Film Riot is brought to you by Domain.com. Today I break out my 2012 Filmmaker Christmas list. You know what I'm saying? Santa doll. I like your shirt. Thank you. Welcome to Film Riot, the show that keeps you up to date with all things Christmassy. I'm your host, Ryan Conley. So, as I do every Christmas season, it is time to take a look at my Christmas list for filmmakers, since this is that time of year where you may have a chance at convincing someone to spend way too much money on you. So in light of that possibility, again, let's take a look at what we want from the film-loving Santa. So I'm going to start in pre-production and work my way through to post-production. I'll have some cheap options and some in case you have a little bit of extra paper to throw around. So to start us out, we have my favorite software for writing your film, and that is Final Draft. This software is probably the one I use the most. Between all of our shows and my other work, I'm almost always writing. So I have a special affinity for this software since it makes my life so much easier. However, this software does carry the price tag of $250. So if you want to go a bit cheaper and you do have an iPad, you can check out Final Draft's Writer app. I just finished writing a big project on it and I really loved it. Being able to write how I want while traveling was friggin' great. There's a lot of features missing, of course. I mean, this app is $200 less, but it has all the must-haves to write your script. Moving on to cameras, which this area is a very opinionated and often hot topic, but some of the cameras I have been drooling over as of late are, starting at the high end, the Blackmagic camera. Yes, this camera has a lot of downsides, as do all cameras, but the ability to shoot RAW at over 2K resolution is freaking amazing. Of course, this one sells at $3,000 for the body only, but it's still insane for what you can do with this camera. Moving on to more reasonably priced cameras, we have the Panasonic GH3, which goes for $1,300 body only. Now, I have not used this camera, but I really love the look of the GH2, and it looks like they have really upped the bar with the GH3. With this cam, you have a headphone jack, the ability to use timecode, no cutoff for recording, an electric shutter, built-in Wi-Fi, and you can now shoot up to 72 megabits per second, which the GH2 could only do 24 until it was hacked, so I'm super curious to see what kind of hacks are going to come out with this bad boy. Moving on again to something even cheaper still is the Canon T3i, which goes for $600 body only, which this is pretty much the same as the T2i, which I have shot a lot with and love, but with some great upgrades like the swivel screen and manual audio control. Of course, if you want to save $100 to $200, you could just go with the T2i, but the upgrades are definitely worth it in my opinion. Now, I'm not going to get into sub $200 cameras like I did last time because honestly, if you have a smartphone, you probably have the video capabilities of those. So instead, I'm going to jump into my wish list for something that I've been salivating over, and that's the Hero 3 Black Edition from GoPro. This thing is insanely small, as all their cameras are, but can shoot 4K at 12 frames per second, 2.7K at full 24p. You can also shoot up to 120 frames per second in 720p mode, so you can get some great slow-mo all in a camera that goes for $400. Plus, you can slap it in that waterproof housing as usual for underwater work, and these things are just crazy durable. So since I already have a cam I'm happy with for now, this one is really high on my list. Moving on to rigs for your camera, we have one of my favorites, which is the Pocket Dolly from Kessler Crane. This one starts at about $500 and is basically behind every lockdown moving shot on the show. But if you want to go handheld and cheaper, there is the DV Runner from jag35.com, which goes for about $150, and it's very solid and cost-effective for being a shoulder rig. But if that is still too much, there is the $55 Spider Steady that we talked about on the show a few weeks ago. This thing is a little flimsy, but for the most part, it is a great rig and very impressive for the price. If you want to know more about that rig, check out my review of it right here. Now to audio. First, I'm going to talk about shotgun mics with the Azden SGM2X. This one goes for about $229 and is an awesome mic for the price. The quality you get here is really great, and if you're recording directly into your DSLR camera, you really don't need much more than this. It's also self-powered, so that is a huge plus. But if you do want to shell out a bit more cash for a superior mic, check out the Sennheiser ME67 with the K6 power module. Pretty similar to the last mic, but with much better quality. The downside, of course, is that you are paying a lot more with this one going on $549. It is definitely the better mic, but if you need to save some cash, you'll do just fine with the Azden. And the last mic I have for you is a lav mic. This is the Audio Technica AT899, which is a wired lav that you can get for about $200. This is a great mic with really solid audio quality for about $400 less than the one I'm using right now, which is so much cheaper because the one I'm using right now is wireless. It has 2 packs, one sending a signal, the other one accepting said signal, all sorts of features that you probably don't need on a small studio setup like the one I'm doing right now. So for those of you that have been asking for it, here you go, a decently priced lav for your studio setup. All right, that covers pre-pro and production. Now a quick break, and then we bust out some of our post gear. Domain.com is in fact the place to go if you're looking to get yourself a domain name and web hosting without any hassle. Whatever it is you're looking to do, from hosting, promoting yourself, that online business card we talk about a lot, just displaying your film on the interwebs for people to see, Domain.com is definitely the best place for you to go to get yourself hooked up. It's helpful, it's fun, it's easy to navigate unlike a lot of the other places, and just to sweeten the deal, you use that coupon code FilmRiot and you get 15% off your domain name and web hosting. So if you're looking to build that presence, display your film, whatever it is, do it through Domain.com. Oh, hello there. So to get right back into it, and before we get to that post software, I wanted to show you guys this super cheap but very useful setup. This is the extremely long named chroma key setup. This comes with a 10x12 green screen, the background support system for it, 4 softboxes, which are just 4 of these fluorescent bulbs wrapped in a softbox, and 4 light stands. All of this for just 180 bucks, which may seem like this would be the crappiest piece of gear setupness ever, but it's not. I mean, the lights are super cheap, but they work fine, and I've actually used these in the past, and the screen is basically the same one that I'm using right now. So out of everything on my film list, I think that this is actually the best value, most bang for your buck, if you will. On to moving yet again, we travel through the land of software. First, to get it out of the way, my opinion has not changed since last year. When it comes to editing on the cheap, I would definitely suggest you go with Final Cut 10, and on the higher end, I am personally a huge Adobe Premiere fan. All the way. And my compositing software hasn't changed since last year either. At the lower price point, you have the very awesome HitFilm software. I've actually been testing this one out. I'm going to be doing an episode on it really soon. I have to say, I'm really impressed with it. Plus, they've just released their latest version and they went all out. This bit of software it's impressive how much you can do. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could do all your editing, VFX, and then deliver your final product all in just this one piece of software. On the higher budgeted end, of course, we have After Effects, which is again something that hasn't changed from last year. But now, when it comes to plugins and assets, some must-haves that you could now beg Santa for are Action Essential from Video Copilot. You can get the full 2K version, or save a little cash and get the 720p version. Then you also have from Video Copilot Element, which gives you the ability to handle 3D objects right inside of After Effects. Moving on to Red Giant, we have my favorite keying software, PriMatte. For me, this wins the keying competition hands down. It makes it lightning fast, and that is like a must for me since we're always moving so fast. Then we have Magic Bullet, which is my preferred grading software. I've been able to pull grades that I liked a lot more on this than I was able to pull out of a high-end grading suite, and I did it in half the time and half the cost, which is why I love this thing so dang much. And moving down again to my last pick, we have Pluralize. This is a life-saving piece of software. If you are doing dual recording, meaning you are recording your audio in a different place than you are your video, you have to sync it up later, which can be such a time-consuming pain in the balls. Until Pluralize, this software looks at the audio from the video and your external recorded audio, then matches them up auto-magically, and boom, you're ready to go. It's glorious. So that's it, my 2012 Christmas list. Some of these I already have, some I've already started sending threatening letters to Santa about, like the GoPro with 120 frames per second. I want to put that on a plate, pop some salt, and just enjoy. Anyway, if you think I missed anything, feel free to post it below to help out your fellow film writers. And if you have any questions, jump over to my Twitter. We could chat there. And also, we have our shirts back in stock, including 2 brand new Film Riot shirts. And since it's Christmas time, everything is on sale. So if you want to gift someone or yourself with some sexy filmmaking swag, jump on over. But I'll see you ladies and males next week when I inadvertently become Santa after not reading the fine print.